Good morning, parents and students, and welcome to Black, Brown, and College Bound Scholarship Symposium. This year, our theme is Your Future Matters, Education and Training. This conference is designed to introduce high school and transfer students to higher education opportunities and will feature presentations and workshops focused on college and careers, what to expect after high school graduation, the free application for federal student aid, self-care, and pathways to gainful employment. In addition, attendees will hear from students, community leaders, education advocates, and professionals within the fields of business. We hope that this seminar will provide life-changing information for students to have a successful and prosperous future.
In June of 2018, I met with Judy Reno, College Depot Director, and Kelly Bashong, Head of the Phoenix Library, to plant the seeds for a scholarship program boot camp. We now collaborate with several community organizations such as the Akarama Foundation HBCU Fair at Phoenix College, the Delta Beta Omega chapter of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Scholarship Program, Mesa Community College, African American Student Conferences, Paul Quinn College, the Maricopa County branch of the NAACP, the City of Phoenix, the Links Incorporated, and Phoenix chapter of the Top Ladies of Distinction. Following a series of meetings from June 2018 through February 2019 with our collaborators, we created the Black, Brown, and College Bound initiative. We wanted to increase the number of African American and Hispanic students who apply for and are awarded college scholarships. Now listen carefully. Please plan to attend this seminar for the full 90 minutes. 90 minutes of your life is not too much, because if you do, you'll be eligible to win one of 2 round-trip tickets to wherever Southwest Airline flies. Enjoy.
Good morning, and welcome to Arizona State University. We're excited to join the Delta Beta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated in welcoming you to the 2022 presentation of Black, Brown, and College Bound. ASU is honored to welcome you to this incredible program and greet students from across the valley, all striving for the same goal, to earn a college degree and prepare for a future full of possibilities. Your tenacity, sometimes against long odds, is all the evidence ASU needs to make empowering underrepresented students and ensuring greater access to education for the people of Arizona a top priority. We know that when students of color are empowered to achieve their full potential and pursue their dreams, we can lift up not just ourselves, but our families, our communities, and our nation. So this morning, we invite you to prepare to be motivated and inspired by a knowledgeable and dynamic lineup of presenters and champions for higher education who are here to encourage and equip you with the skills you need to unlock your boundless potential to pursue your dream of earning a college degree. Thank you.
As the president of the Delta Beta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, as well as the president of the Phoenix Akarama Foundation, it is my honor to participate in the 5th Black, Brown, and College Bound Boot Camp program. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated had its humble beginnings as the vision of 9 college students on the campus of Howard University in 1908. Since then, the sorority has flourished into a globally impactful organization of more than 300,000 college-trained members. Our organization is dedicated to implementing programs of service that enhance the social, economic, and educational well-being of the local, national, as well as the international communities. Programs remain the heart of Alpha Kappa Alpha. The local chapter of the Greater Phoenix Delta Beta Omega began service to all mankind in 1946, 76 years ago, as a graduate chapter. The sorority has evolved as the chapter strives to meet the needs of an ever-changing society. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority's signature program is the College Admissions Process, otherwise known as our #CAP program. It's specially designed to assist both high school junior and senior students to equip them with the knowledge and tools needed to achieve a bright and prosperous future. I hope you're able to find value with the wealth of knowledge brought to you by all of our speakers and presenters. Again, welcome and enjoy the program.
Thank you for your warm welcome, President Geer. Good morning, students and parents, and welcome to the 2022 Black, Brown, and College Bound Virtual Boot Camp. My name is Angela Johnson, and I serve as the first Vice President and Program Chairman for the Phoenix Sakurama Foundation and the Delta Beta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I'm excited to serve as your moderator for today's program that is filled with tips that are necessary for you to pursue a college education. But before we get started, I will outline some housekeeping items. I will be monitoring the chat throughout today's program, so feel free to add your questions to the chat and we'll try to answer them all before the end of the program. As you heard during Mr. Kelly's welcome, there will be Southwest Airlines tickets given away today. And in addition, we will also raffle off 4 Amazon gift cards in the amount of $25 throughout the program. So very exciting. Today, you will hear from existing college students on what it takes to be successful in college, how to find the financial resources you need for college success, and how to navigate the college admissions process. So please sit back, relax, and take lots of notes. Before we move into today's program, we will turn it over to Monica Magarian, Community Connections Coordinator for Maricopa Community Colleges, for a moment of silence to recognize the tragic events in Uvalde, Texas. And then we will transition into our College Table Talk panel led by Dr. Kira Gatewood from ASU.
Thank you, Angela. Please join me in a moment of silence, of reflection and respect. Words cannot express the tremendous grief our nation is experiencing over the tragedy of the past weeks. As a community and nation, we are stunned. We mourn the tragic loss of lives and injuries, and our deepest sympathies go out to the victims, their families and friends, for Uvalde, Buffalo, Tulsa, and all other heartbreaks several communities have experienced. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Very well appreciated. And we will now move into the College Table Talk panel discussion led by Dr. Kira Gatewood, who is currently the Assistant Dean of Students at ASU.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Kira Gatewood. I'm the Director of Staff Operations and Student Services at Arizona State University for Bear the Honors College. I am delighted to be here with you today. We have some students who are going to talk about their experience. So sit back, take a few notes, and let's get started. We'll have our students introduce themselves.
I will go ahead and go first. My name is Bailey Benson. I go to University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I'm double majoring in economics and food studies and minoring in business administration, and I am a third year.
Hi, my name is Ian Sherwood. I go to Arizona State University, and I am a freshman political science major.
Welcome, welcome. So our first question is, now that you've had more than a year of higher education, is college worth it?
I'll take that one first. I would say yes, it's very much worth it. I mean, we are entering into a new era of jobs that are going to require more than just a high school degree. You're going to need a higher education. But not aside from that, it's worth it because of the experience. I've loved being a college student this whole year. I've met some amazing people that I wouldn't have met if I decided to just, go on with my high school diploma. I've joined a lot of clubs. I've made a lot of networks for my future. And I've learned a lot from all of my classes. So I would say college education is definitely worth it.
Yeah, and going off of what Ian said, I mean, as we're stepping further and further into the 21st century, I mean, jobs becoming more specialized, and like you said, college is becoming more necessary. But also, being in college gives you an extra 4 years, give or take, to really grow up and mature a little bit, and that's a break to really just enjoy your freedom in a way that you wouldn't otherwise be able to when you're not in college.
Okay, so Bailey, can you talk to me about what made you choose your school? Like, did you feel it was academically successful? How did you measure that?
Yeah, so I'm actually a Morehead Kane Scholar at the University of North Carolina, and it's a full ride scholarship that's based off merit. And what really attracted me to UNC was the Morehead Kane Scholarship Program, because going into college, I knew that I wanted to have a high scholarship, and that if I wanted a high scholarship like the Rhodes or the Luce or a Fulbright, UNC was the best place for me, because the more kids, I'm a data person. And so I compared all the different schools I got accepted to. And then I looked at how many Black women from each of those schools got a distinguished scholarship, such as the Fulbright or the Luce or the Rhodes Scholarship. And I found that in terms of sheer numbers and percentages of Black women, the Morehead Kane program at UNC had the most. And I said, oh, well, they have the resources, and therefore I would really love to go to the school. And so that's how I picked UNC.
Okay, my fellow Sun Devil, tell me why you picked Arizona State.
Well, I've grown up around Arizona State my entire life. I mean, when I was born, I was basically already going to be a Sun Devil. 18 years later, it was predestined. But aside from those reasons, I really like ASU. I like how it's a really big campus. We have over like 70,000 people on the Tempe campus alone. I like that you get to see a lot of different people from different socioeconomic classes. You get to see people who are not from America, a lot of foreign students here. I also like that we're a public research university, so you have a lot of access to, public projects. It was also an affordability reason. They make it pretty affordable if you're an in-state student. And, personally for me, I did not want to go out of state. I wanted to stay here in Arizona, close to my family. That was just what was best for me. So I decided on ASU based on those reasons.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question that wasn't, pre-prepared. So do not panic. I think what I'd like to hear from you is, how did you know that your choice was the right choice after you got there?
I'll go ahead and start with this one. I think that's a great question to ask, because you don't know if your choice is the right choice before you get there. You just have to guess and hope you're correct. I think what made me really realize that my choice was the correct choice was when I established a small group of ride or die friends. And these are people that I would not find anywhere else, in times where I think to myself, I really wish I had gone to XYZ school instead of UNC. What keeps me here is the fact that I have such great friends here who I really could not imagine my college experience without. And so knowing that I made the right choices, looking at my friends and looking at how close we are and how much we've grown with each other, and being just incredibly grateful for that, knowing I couldn't get that anywhere else.
Yeah, it's a very similar answer for me too. I think it was the first time I met the people in my scholarship program. I am a medallion scholar. I'm part of the 2025 cohort. The first time I met all of those people was when I knew that ASU was the right decision. That I have some ride or die friends too in that program, and also in the clubs I'm in too. I couldn't imagine being in college without hanging out with those people. They're amazing. And, I can't see myself going anywhere else. I made the right choice.
Okay, so you all both talked about being engaged on your campus. Tell me some of the programs or some of the events or things that have gotten you kind of attached to your university, other opportunities like scholarship programs or student org, student leadership opportunities. Can you talk about your experience with some of those?
Yeah, I can. I am an early outreach scholar as well, and we do a lot of, we do stuff similar to this. We encourage K through 12 students to think about higher education, and so there's a lot. My cohort, I'm a part of Campus Experience, where we do tours and we do events that encourage students to consider higher education. And it's really rewarding work. That's something you can really get involved in if you've been a part of an early outreach program when you were in high school. The early outreach scholarship is there for you. And it's a lot of public service. Same thing with medallions. We also do public service in there. And that's some of the scholarship opportunities for that if you don't join clubs.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Ian. I think that one of my favorite parts about being in college, and like Ian said, going to a research university, is being able to have all the funding available to you that you might not otherwise get if you weren't in college, if you were going to a liberal arts university. My favorite part about being at UNC is that I'm an active member or very involved in the American Studies department. It's a major, and the department, most departments actually give out a lot of scholarships and grants and funding. And so through them, I've been able to fund a culinary medicine club. I've been able to fund a magazine. I mean, there's really an endless amount of funds when you go to a public university. If you have a great why or a great reason in general to do something, there's always someone there who's going to fund you. And I mean, this is the only time in your life you're going to have so much access to so many resources.
Okay, both of you all talked about being scholars. Can you talk to me about your mental preparation for college? And did you feel prepared? Did you feel like you were ready to enter college? And then when you got there, did your experience match your expectations?
So going into college, I was in an IB program, International Baccalaureate program, and I felt like I was really prepared to go to college and that I was going to like do well and excel and like be this like great student. And the first thing in my scholarship program that they told us in our first week orientation was, I know they told us all basically, I know you guys are used to getting like these 4.0s, but don't expect that in college. It's not going to happen. And that's okay. Of course, everybody in the room, brush that off because we're used to it. And then, you're smacked with reality. When you go to UNC is a pretty selective school. Everyone there was a valedictorian. And so you're competing with everybody. You're competing with a bunch of yous in a room. And sometimes you aren't the best. And so my expectations were I would go there and be the very best just without putting any additional effort in. And what I found was it's a lot of hard work that goes into just being a student at UNC. It takes more than just being intelligent. You have to be able to work hard as well because everybody in the room with you is intelligent. So I would say that my expectations exceeded reality a little bit, but it's a learning curve. And that's something that I think everyone becomes accustomed to when you go to college.
Yeah, for me, it was I was pretty unsure that summer going into college. I went to a really small high school. I went to a Montessori school. There was only like 5 people in my graduating class. So I was like, I hadn't been in a public school in like 3 years. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to make the transition to go from 5 to 70,000. I was unsure if the Montessori education would transfer over, but I actually exceeded my expectations of myself. Like I thought I wasn't going to make it that first semester, but I ended up doing really well. I got a 3.96 GPA, and that was like something I had never been able to do before. And I also got into Barrett my second semester too. It was a lot. Like even when I did my scholarship, I was worried about being an EOS scholar at first. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to do the tours. But when I did my first one, it was such an exhilarating experience. It felt like I could actually do something like that. It was amazing. Yeah, going into it, I was really unsure. And I think that's true for a lot of people who graduate and then the next semester they're going to be in college. It really isn't that much to worry about. It's just if you apply enough effort and you get down to the work, you're going to be able to survive. You're going to be able to succeed.
Success. So a lot of people talk about, when you go to college, the idea of success is obtaining your degree. But there are a lot of ways that you can define success through your college experience. So I was wondering if you could share with us your definition of success. Like, what does that look like for you while in college? What are things that you have set out for yourself to do?
For me, I guess I came into college as a environmental science major, and I'm now an economics and food studies major. So my ideas of success has changed drastically. But one thing that I did that I look back on was a really good thing I did before starting college, or before I start every year, is make a list of goals that aren't necessarily specific to a certain degree or a major, but just by this point in time, I want to have this many professor connections. By this point in time, I want to have done X amount of programs. I want to be a leader in X amount of organizations. And so I really measure my success in terms of community involvement and being able to be close to those who have the ability to help me in my future career. Not only are they helping me, but I want to be able to help them as well. And so measured success is the connections that you make for me in college. It's the bonds you build with people, your professors, your friends, as well as connections you make in clubs, whether that is as a leader or with other people in the clubs, the starting clubs. It's just being involved in your community and your surroundings and being tapped in.
It's very similar for me too. I kind of measure it with community involvement, but I also kind of measure it with like how much I've grown as a person. Like I've changed a lot. Like the person I was this time last year is just completely different. I didn't imagine myself being able to be like a member, like a board member of a club, on the e-board. I never thought of leadership positions like that. Or just being like really involved. Also, I think I also measure it by the fact that I'm now an honors student too. I never thought of myself as that before ASU. So it's kind of personal success, like personal growth and community involvement for me.
And so without success, or without support, it's hard to find success. So can you talk to me about how you kind of sought out some supports, and can you talk to us about what supports you've received? We know financially, you've talked about scholarships. So could you tell us a little bit about how you found your scholarships, but then also some of your supports with your faculty members or other staff members? How did you reach out to them?
It's actually really easy to reach out to your faculty members. You can just stay after class and talk to them. My English teacher last semester, I'm very grateful for her. She's the one who wrote one of my letters of recommendation into Barrett. And I can't be any more thankful for her because she gave me this opportunity to be up here. She was very supportive. She helped me grow as a writer. But, also your friends too. A lot of my friends in the medallion program were also in Barrett. And, they also encouraged me to apply again. And talking to them about the experience really convinced me, really gave me the confidence to do that. But yeah, it's a mixture of friends and faculty that'll help you get through college, help you make sense of the new freedoms you have and the new limitations that you have.
I completely agree that it's friends and faculty. In terms of finding support, or my scholarship, I applied to my scholarship before I started college. But there are so many different scholarships you can apply the year after you start college or the semester after you start college for the first time. I mean, there's endless possibilities in terms of finding scholarships. It's really about keeping your eyes open. And like Ian said, asking your friends, asking faculty, being encouraged by people. I think that a huge sense of support I found was in the Black community. Going to a PWI is not always the easiest to navigate that space. PWI is a predominantly white institution, and it's not the easiest to navigate that space. So if you have a group of people who are Black or whatever demographic you might be a part of, you can tap into that community and be able to just like sit down and debrief and talk about things that have been bothering you or the things you didn't even know were bothering you, or things you didn't know how to put into words per se, and just really enjoy the space with each other and feel in a truly safe space that you don't always get in, say, your classroom.
Okay, now I'm going to say maybe your parents are watching and they're going, I was a support. What about me? So can you give advice to family? Give advice to family about how they can support their student, the best way that they can support their college student.
I call my mom literally every day up here. I mean, that's not something to be embarrassed about. Please call your parents every day. Even though my mom's only 30 minutes away from ASU, I have to. They're the only ones who really like fully understand everything that you're going through. I would say that you have to keep a strong, you have to keep a good connection with your child once they're in college. Make sure that they're okay, because you won't be there all the time anymore. They aren't at home. They might be struggling. So it's always good to reach out to your parents and for the parents to reach out to the kids every once in a while.
Yeah, and going off of that, I think one of the greatest things one of the greatest things my dad has done for me in college is right when I graduated high school. I turned 18. I was getting ready to go to college. He was like, I'm your parent, but at this point, I can only parent you so much from North Carolina, but I'm always here to advise you, and I'm never going to judge you for the decisions that you make. And that is so important for parents to tell their kids. Because especially when you're going through college, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to do things that probably weren't that wise. And the last thing you want to have to do on top of making those bad decisions and dealing with them is hiding it from your parents. It just makes it so much worse. And so if parents and children can have that open source of communication, well, not even parents of children anymore, but like parents and their adult children can have that open channel of communication, it just makes being in college so much easier because you can talk to your family about, hey, I did X, Y, and Z, and that was a horrible decision. What do I do now? Because most likely they have that lived experience as well, and they can help you through it.
Okay, so we're talking about choices. What was a freshman decision or like an interesting choice you made that you're willing to share with us when you began college that you were like, hey, this is a teachable moment for someone else?
So my first semester, freshman year, I decided it would be a great idea to stretch myself and try harder classes. And it sounds like it's a good idea, but when you aren't accustomed to a college environment, jumping into harder classes, like talking 200, 300 level classes, is a horrible idea. If you've taken a class, for example, you test out a biology 101. This is not for personal experience at all. If you test out a biology 101, do not go into biology, the second level biology. Just retake biology 101 so you can get accustomed to how they teach it there. Because some people will end up with a C in that class. And the last thing you want it to be is you, because you thought that you could just start skipping levels in college. College courses are much more difficult and taught in a much different way than high school classes. So take it easy your first semester. Be kind to yourself. Don't overload. Don't take classes that are full of upperclassmen. Take some simple freshman classes. Keep it light. Just give yourself time to adjust before you start doing academically rigorous course load.
Mine's kind of a recent story. I had a freshman moment last semester when I scheduled my classes this semester. I only have 5 classes, but four of them happen back to back on Monday, Wednesday. And sometimes it's like a 15-minute interval between them. So it can be a little stressful, especially like one of them's on all the way on the other side of campus. One's in Core, and then the other one's over here closer to Barrett. So it's like a 15-minute power walk. I did not know that it was there. It was on the other side of campus until like the first day. And I realized, oh my gosh, I have to walk this fast to this class. But, I make it work. Don't schedule 4 classes on one day. That's a freshman moment.
Also, do not be afraid to drop classes. If you are in the drop period and you just cannot do the class, drop it. It's okay. You can always take it later. There's no shame in dropping a class. Absolutely no shame.
I actually think that is sage advice, especially if you are in the drop period. If you are outside of the drop period, please connect with your academic advisor to ensure that you are making a wise decision that will not have repercussions later on. But So you said something, Bailey, that was about like forgiving yourself and being self-aware in knowing that things happen. Stress is going to happen, but like if you're aware of your stress and you forgive yourself, like it will get better. So can you talk to me about the stress or challenges you may have experienced with taking, well, not you, but hearing about other students taking higher level classes or like making decisions, that added additional compounded stress to the experience? How do you handle that?
I'll actually give some personal experience. So my first semester, I'm the one who took all these hard classes and this tough course load, and I ended up getting a 3.2, which honestly, in the grand scheme of things, really isn't that bad. But being somebody who had come out of college and gotten a 4.0 every semester since basically freshman year, it was like catastrophic for me. I was just like so upset and depressed my whole winter break. But then I realized that being in college, just the fact that you're there is enough. I mean, always push yourself and strive to do as much as you can, but being there and being a college student and taking those harder classes and engaging with your peers and your professors, you're doing more than most people have the opportunity to do, like most people around the world. And so I think when you're in college, being kind to yourself is one of the most important things you can do, because I mean, you are handling all these things. And I realize I'm in a very fortunate position that I don't have to pay for college, but I couldn't imagine, paying for college, doing a work study job, having all these extracurriculars, because graduate school, if you're doing that, they want extracurriculars. Med school, they want extracurriculars. College exams, hard courses. I mean, you're doing all of this stuff. And so taking some time to be kind to yourself, if you have, I guess another piece of advice is if you have a preset number of excused absences in a class, don't be afraid to just take one of them and catch up. If you really just cannot do it that day, take those excused absences. There's no shame in it. Your professors are not going to be mad at you or think you're less of a student if you use one of the absences that they gave you to use. So if you have to take a U day and just not go to class, sleep in, eat breakfast, get your nails done, get your eyebrows done, eat a nice lunch, go out, read a book, do something that makes you happy, do that. And I think that's the best way to get through college, especially when it gets really difficult in terms like junior year and senior year. It's just taking some days to yourself or doing things every week that you're doing for yourself and for no one else.
That is great advice. So you have to take some time for yourself especially during midterm or final season. It's like an onslaught. It's like back to back to back to back essays and tests. So don't be afraid to take a me day. There's always at least one or two classes that I have that don't grade attendance. So like I'm not afraid to just not go for like one day and just like go and relax somewhere, like go get lunch or go back to the dorm and like take a nap. It's unhealthy to just keep pushing through and not having any rest. I always know when to like just give myself a rest and not work on the midterm essay coming up. I think it'll make you better when it's actually time to. You'll be more rested. You'll be able to write a better paper, be able to take the test and get a higher grade than you would if you were really stressed out.
Absolutely. I think another resource is counseling. I mean, I know at ASU, there are several counseling circles. There's one specifically for first year students to just kind of talk through what's happening with other people who might also be going through something similar. So check your schools for what resources they do have to offer in assisting with stress management. Tell me about a time that you failed something and tell me how you recovered from that failure in college. Not necessarily a paper, but like where you felt like you failed.
My senior year of high school, I applied to get into Barrett and I didn't get in. Like this time in March, I got my rejection letter. And, I in college, I was like, I don't know if I really want to apply again. I don't want to be like heartbroken again that I didn't get in. But, all my friends are up here, and that really motivated me to reapply. And I worked really hard to make sure I didn't make the same mistakes I thought I made on my first application. And I applied again and I got in, and it's been a very satisfying thing. I just didn't let that first failure get me down. I didn't let that stop me from reapplying.
I know you said it didn't have to be a paper. However, I think that one of my best examples of a time that I failed was when I literally failed like an exam, or it wasn't even an exam, it was a paper. Well, let's be honest, I failed plenty of things in college. That's just part of college. It happens. You fail big things and it's okay. I failed a paper, and I was really upset about it. But then I realized that it honestly wasn't that bad. It was actually just a learning curve and a lesson to be learned, because there are so many resources in college that if you really apply yourself, you really don't have to fail anything ever. Now I go to the writing center every single time I write a paper, and that'll boost your points because they help you see things that you didn't see. They help you rewrite things. So it just opens you up to different free tutoring, free writing workshops, free writing, like peer mentoring that I would have otherwise not known about had I not felt that paper. So it was actually a great experience. Well, it was a worthwhile experience.
Yes, worthwhile experiences. So I think about when you were talking about earlier, you were saying, take the absences. The professors give you those things, like take the me day, as Ian coined it. Can you tell me, I think about the syllabus as a underlooked resource. A lot of students don't read the syllabus, and the syllabus tells you when your papers are due. They tell you what papers you're going to have coming up. They tell you, pretty much it is the blueprint to the course. Could you tell me about what you think another underlooked or a resource that you feel like students overlook their first year in college?
Office hours. Go to your office hours, even if it's just once. Introduce yourself to the professor. Or if there's right before a test and they have office hours, even if you never go to office hours, go to those, because more likely than not, the professor is going to hint at something that will be on the test in office hours. And the only people who are going to know about it are the people who chose to spend that hour of time to go. And so it just makes your life so much easier when you build a strong relationship with your professor, and you're also able to get information that is not privy to the entire class.
Thank you so much for your answers. I believe we're going to go ahead and wrap up. And I do think the best piece of advice that was given to me was something very similar, is that college is a journey. And so you've got to do things that you weren't planning on doing. You've got to try new things. You've got to step out of your comfort zone and be okay with failing, as long as you learn something from that failure. I appreciate speaking with you all this afternoon. And so if there are other questions, feel free to email Delta Beta Omega with those questions, and we will get them over to our scholars to see if they can answer those for you directly. Is there any last piece of advice you have, any last words you'd like to add?
Oh, what you just said about trying new things, I should have said that one originally. That is something that has helped me out a lot. My mom always says I'm no before yes. Like, I'm very skeptical of new things, but trying new things is what's gotten me pretty far in college. I wasn't afraid of being a leader on a leadership position, anything like that. So yeah, always keep your mind open to new experiences.
I agree with trying new things, really putting yourself out there, especially when you go to a bigger school like Ian and I. You could really do whatever you want, and no one's really gonna care. So if you want to try something in class, or easiest example, you don't know if your answer is right and you're in a 300-person lecture, raise your hand and answer the question. Even if you're wrong, it's a blip. In reality, it's gonna be okay. So just put yourself out there and don't be afraid to do anything, from trying a new sport or trying a new club or a new major to answer your question in class. It will always be okay in the long run.
I love that. Thank you all so much for your time. We are excited and we wish you the best of success, and we wish you the best of luck in becoming the best versions of yourself that you can be.
Hey! Oh yeah! Get it on top. Come on, get on. Ain't it on the phone? Hey! Ain't it funky now? Oh, what you spray? Ain't it funky now? Get the brain. Sure, you got sick for the sick one. You got sick for the heat. Every time I want to love your baby. Woo! Oh!
At Southwest Airlines, it's always been about heart. It's about loving people, about putting others first. It's about building resilience through connections that last. Because distance shouldn't keep us from being neighbors. It's about living responsibly and doing things the Southwest way. We believe the act of connecting starts with heart.
Think about what you imagine yourself doing. Think about what you want your life to do. Think about what you want your life to mean. What we have constructed for you is an institution that is focused on enabling your dream.
I was just blown away by the amount of opportunities that there are here.
I'm an undergrad, but I'm also in research. The professors are also awesome.
We have hundreds of degree programs. We can synthesize and connect and link them together. Fantastic undergraduate research experiences and creativity experiences.
Over the course of 15 months, I went abroad, thanks to ASU. I learned as much in those 15 months as I did in the 18 or 19 years of my life before that.
You're at the place where there's this intense energy focused on you.
I'm going to work at the National Institutes of Health, or the NIH.
I'm moving to Vietnam to teach English on a Fulbright grant.
The ASU made me who I am today. I really owe a lot to being there.
Hello, my name is Maurice Trotter, and I am a teacher in the Roosevelt School District. According to the Federal Reserve, the student loan crisis is at an all-time high of $1.7 trillion. A CNBC survey indicates Black college grads owe $52,000 in student loan debt. A UNIDOS U.S. study shows while Latino students are entering college at record numbers, the college completion gap lags behind white students. One cause of this gap is the fear of college debt.
Hello, I'm Zawena Trotter. There's an old expression, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. During Maurice's college career, he accumulated $59,000 in student loan debt. But we both worked hard to get rid of that debt in only 10 months. That is why we advocate that you plan well not to fall victim to student loan debt.
Student loan debt can prohibit you from purchasing a home,
Hinder you financially from starting a family, and
also impact your credit score if you cannot make the monthly payments. We are both proud to introduce Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego and friends
to provide positive guidance about how to avoid student loan debt.
Preparing for your future starts today. If you have 30 minutes to spare, then you have time to change your life. Don't let FAFSA miss stop you.
Parents make too much money, have bad credit, your parents are not U.S. citizens. Well, none of that matters. Financial student aid is available for you to unlock now.
There are no income cutoffs to qualify for federal student aid. Your parent's citizenship status is not even a factor, and the FAFSA form won't ask you about it. We can help you.
If your parents don't have social security numbers, you can enter all zeros when the FAFSA form asks. It's that easy.
So don't wait. The earlier you submit, the better. Visit College Depot at Phoenix Public Library for help in taking a big step towards your future. Complete your FAFSA today.
Thank you, Maurice, Zawena, and Mayor Kate for that informative information. And we'll continue with our scholarship roundtable. The Phoenix Public Library's College Depot is located on the second floor of the Burton Barr Library in downtown Phoenix. It's a free, full-service college access center that has a team of college advisors who assist you with the action steps necessary to pursue your college education. The director of the College Depot, Judy Reno, has been a great friend of Black, Brown, and College Bound, so we recognize and thank her for her continued support. On today's roundtable, we have joining us Michael Mabry, a college access advisor at the College Depot, along with Mrs. Sandra Jenkins, educator, member and chairman of the #CAP committee for the Akarama Foundation and the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Mrs. Jenkins is also known as the mother of the first ever $1 Million Scholar in the Phoenix Union High School District. So, I have some questions to ask the both of you. And then anyone in the audience, if you have additional questions, please put it in the chat and we'll make sure your questions are answered. So the first question for either one of you is I've heard from parents they don't know when it's too soon or too late to apply for scholarships. So what's the good time for students to begin applying?
Yeah, sure. In my experience with the FAFSA being available to students at first in October of every year, that's a good time to start getting those wheels turning on financial aid. And so when I advise my students, I let them know the general window is October to May, when you're going to want to start looking and applying for scholarships. Of course, there are scholarships that exist outside of that window, but that's where you're going to find the most and you're going to have the most opportunity. So the other thing I would say is that it's probably best, even if you're not ready to start applying for scholarships because you're not a senior or you're not going to college within the next year, it's a good idea to still look to see what types of things scholarship foundations are looking for students so that you can start working on those things, whether it be academics or extracurriculars or anything like that. It's good to get a preview early.
Okay, great. So where can they find these opportunities? Ms. Jenkins, go ahead.
So also jlbcollegecounseling.com. They have scholarships available for freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So a lot of it is that you have to do a little research on the net to find out about these opportunities. But they do have scholarships available for students as early as freshman year in high school. Just have to look around. I have a list that I've put together of multiple scholarships. Some are the big name, the Obama, the Gates, and when to apply and that kind of thing. So I can make sure that I provide that if we have some type of backpack or a parent or a student wants to know how to access that list or get these scholarships.
That's a great idea, Mrs. Jenkins, Ms. Sandra. If we can put that on our website, that would be wonderful. We can have that as a resource for our participants today. So this is a good question for you, Ms. Jenkins. How many scholarships can a student apply for each year?
Oh, I say the moon is the limit. And I remember when my daughter was a senior getting ready to graduate in 2018, and she's like, Mom, this is too much. This is too many scholarships to apply for. Do I have to apply for this? It's only $400. It's only $500. And so I would ask her, do you have $500 in your checking account? Do you have this money available? Yes, of course. You need to apply for it, and we'll keep applying because mom's not rich, dad's not rich. You need to apply for every scholarship that comes your way as long as you meet the criteria, the basic criteria. And what I'm understanding is that even if you don't meet the criteria sometimes, because students sometimes don't apply for scholarships and they have a hard time giving money away. So sometimes they'll look at your basic or minimum qualifications and you may be able to get that. You may be awarded that scholarship. So you still need to apply, even if you don't meet all of the minimum qualifications. So,
Michael, do you have anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, I think that's great advice. You can never over kind of extend in terms of putting yourself out there and casting a wide net in order to apply for every scholarship that you can potentially qualify for. So that's a great piece of advice. And it's one of those things where the more scholarships you see, the more they're kind of looking for similar type information. So if they're looking for essays from students, then you can strategize by trying to see how you can maybe write 1, 2, 3 essays and have them apply to multiple different scholarship opportunities. So don't go only for the big numbers, only for the big rewards. You know, cast a wide net and definitely apply to all that you can.
Wonderful. So, Michael, are there scholarships available for students that are going to community colleges or technical schools?
Absolutely. So a four-year university isn't the only type of institution that qualifies to receive scholarships, and foundations that are out there are from all types of sources. So it could be a foundation that's based on academics, but it could be also a foundation that's founded through a business that is about a trade. And so there might be schools or businesses out there that are specifically looking, let's say, for welders, and will create scholarship opportunities for students going to community college and to a technical school or a vocational school to do that type of work.
Okay, great. So I have a question from a parent that says, my daughter just graduated high school and has a 3.6 GPA, didn't take the ACT or SAT. Are there any scholarships or grants that she may be eligible for?
Yeah, sure. So there are definitely scholarships. That's a great GPA. Even for students who haven't taken the ACT or SAT, there are scholarships that don't require you to report that information. They're not looking for that specifically. A 3.6 GPA is an excellent start for you to get those merit-based scholarships, which are premium. Don't get me wrong, need-based scholarships are very good to get, but with a 3.6 GPA, there's going to be a plethora of merit-based scholarships that can take a student a long way. So I don't have a list in front of me where I can tell you specifics right now, but I did post on in the chat a link to the College Depot scholarship website where students can filter by things like GPA, academic career, things like this. And also over to the side, we have a list of other non-College Depot scholarship search sites that you can use. And they also will have filters where you can filter for specific GPAs when looking for scholarships.
Okay. Another eligibility question is, are there scholarships available for non-US citizens?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of nonprofits are focused specifically on students that are here but that are not US citizens, and they do have scholarship opportunities. So specifically, if you find yourself in that situation, you're going to want to look for community-based organizations that focus on specific populations of students, whether they be Dreamers or DACA students that are here in the United States.
Okay.
I think I did see on the College Depot website that they do have some specific scholarships for the DECA and students who are international or who are not in the from the United States.
So, Ms. Jenkins, especially for you, as you were searching on different websites and you're looking for scholarship opportunities all over the place, how can you tell if it's legitimate, if it's a legitimate scholarship opportunity?
Well, in 2018, the only criteria I had, as long as they don't ask you to pay for it, it doesn't sound sneaky or weird like that. You shouldn't have to pay for opportunities like this. So if you see somebody say, oh, just give us $400 or $300 and we'll da-da-da-da-da. No, you don't do that. So you look for, the legitimacy of it, just do a little research and kind of follow the website and look and go through it and make a determination that, oh, this is legit. I'm going to apply for it. But don't pay money for scholarships.
Don't pay money. Okay. No. Have you seen any of those, Mr. Mabry, Michael?
Asking to pay in order to submit an application. Yes, I have seen those types of things out there. I've also seen scholarships that are a little too good to be true that are out there. So if the deal, it doesn't sound right. If it's promising you that you're going to get thousands and thousands of dollars, they're not asking you about anything about your academics, but maybe they want your account number so that they can directly deposit these funds into your account, which is definitely not going to happen. So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But if you're on the fence about it, run it by one of your school counselors or, by some adults, someone who knows that world a little bit better, and they'll be able to give you some solid advice, I'm sure.
Okay. Do all scholarships renew every year until graduation?
No. You have to look at the fine print or ask the person who's granting the scholarship. Some of them do, but then many of them do not. So you just have to inquire. Michael, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so even some that are set up to be renewable aren't automatically renewable. So any scholarship that you receive, you definitely want to stay in close communication with the foundation that's sponsoring that scholarship so that you can know the steps that you need to take while you're in school and afterwards. So some scholarships might require that you complete 32 credits per academic year. But let's say you signed up for 16 credits your fall semester and had to, for whatever reason, drop a course, and now you're 3 credits short there, and you can't take 19 credits in the spring because of school rules or something, then those are the times where you need to be understanding early of the situation, so you know, okay, I need to take a summer class and I'm gonna have to pay out of pocket in order to renew my scholarship. And if you know ahead of time, maybe you can switch out the class for something else that could make up for the credit hours and things like that. So anytime you get a scholarship and you're making changes to your school schedule, think about that and reach out if you can to the folks of that foundation to see, hey, is this okay that I dropped this class? Is there a way for me to make up for it? What are the potential penalties for me doing this? And just be on top of it. They're usually pretty good about reaching out to students, but be proactive. If you haven't heard from them, reach out to them.
Okay, thank you. So, Michael, you made a comment earlier that I want to just have you clarify. Can you tell what's the difference between a merit-based and a needs-based scholarship?
Sure. So a merit-based scholarship is going to be awarded to a student based primarily on their academic achievements or maybe their extracurricular achievements. They're not always clear in a scholarship description about whether it is need-based or merit-based. So sometimes you do need to actually reach out and ask. But if they're asking for you to have your FAFSA done and submitted, if they're asking you to submit your tax forms along with your application for the scholarship, more than likely it's a need-based scholarship. You want to prioritize merit-based scholarship as much as you can. But those need-based ones are out there for a reason. So, make sure you're also applying for those.
Okay, great.
So can I add something to that?
Yes.
So for merit-based, it would be your academic, it would be if you're an athlete, or if you have something, if you're in the band or something special, a special activity that you can provide. So you can get scholarships for that too. Athletics. Especially.
And we had a parent ask a question about study abroad programs. Are there scholarships available for study abroad?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's something I didn't take advantage of when I was an undergrad. So and it was because of just the mental block, like I can barely afford to go to college. How am I going to afford to take a 6 months in Australia or wherever I wanted to go? But if you go speak to the people, and this is the thing, don't count yourself out. Go talk to somebody, speak to the people in the study abroad office, and they will tell you about the many programs and scholarships that they have for students who want to study abroad.
Okay. So I'm going to throw back to the two of you. Are there any questions that I did not ask you? Or to any parents, is there one final question that someone has that we haven't addressed just yet?
It's nothing I can think of.
Okay, well, I thank the two of you for your time today. It's been very informative. And Ms. Jenkins, we will look for your list. I think that list that you talked about will be very helpful. And Michael has put a number of links in the chat, as well as there are a number of links from the Arizona Community Foundation as well in the chat. And they have a wealth of resources on their websites as well. So I encourage you all to go out there and take a look at it. And thank you for your time. We are now going to move into a 5-minute break and then come back with another roundtable.
Woo! Hey! Oh yeah! Get it, don't stop. Come on, ain't it on the phone? Hey! Ain't it funky now? Oh, what? Use the brain. Ain't it funky now? Use the brain. Sure, you got to sing what I sing on. You got to sing what I see. Every time I want to love you, baby. Woo! Oh!
Okay, so I just really love the music. Okay, I'm getting comments in the chat. Yes, that's really good mood music. So thank you to the DJ. We're going to now move into navigating college admissions, and we're going to bring back Mrs. Sandra Jenkins, and we're going to talk a little bit about #CAP. So #CAP is a program within the Delta Beta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. It stands for the college admissions process. And Sandra Jenkins is the chairperson for that committee. So Sandra, I'd like to have you talk a little bit about #CAP, what your mission is, some of the initiatives that you've had within the program, and then how can students join?
So #CAP is a signature program. We try to make sure that we are working with parents and students, not just students, to try to get as many Black and brown students enrolled in the college of choice. CAP has been around for a few years now. We usually try to take between 20 and 25 students so we can give them our undivided attention and walk them through the entire process, because going to college, there are different components. There are different timelines that you have to be aware of. The first thing you have to do is get ready for the application itself. So you have to determine whether or not you're going to use the common application, you're going to use the common Black college application, which is for the HBCUs. If your student is interested in attending an HBCU, whether you're going to use the coalition, whether you're going to use just the institution version of the application. Either way, there are prompts that you need to be aware of. I can post those too for the Common App. And you could just practice. Students could just practice or look at maybe 2 or 3 that they can really get into and really figure out the writing prompts, and just practice over the summer months. For the seniors, this is critical because it's go time for them. And they really need to start working on the application and the essay for the application. Then they get done with all that, there's the issue of the entrance exam. So have you taken the ACT or the SAT exam? Sometimes when your score is high enough, you get additional funds. And colleges and universities like to see that you have a high GPA and a high ACT or SAT scores. So the higher your scores, the more money that's going to be available to you. So, and then we already talked a little bit about the essay. So the essay, it's not going to be like your high school essays where, it's formatted and scripted and you have to, have this topic sentence and you got to do all this, fancy stuff. Paragraph 1, paragraph 2 has to have this. It's a little different and it's kind of freestyle. And some of it is you're talking about your experiences. You're talking about your community service and something that really speaks to you, your passions and things that you are very passionate about, and you're writing about it. So you're going to have to just kind of be on your own on that one and have someone to look at it and edit it and help you with that piece of it. But
and I recall you having a really in-depth workshop about the essay as well. How did that go?
Yes, so we just try to work with parents and students on, what it should look like and what it should feel like and how it should sound, how it should read. Because like I said, it's not going to be like your typical essay from high school. That's not the college admissions folks looking for. They're looking for passion and something that you feel really, really passionate about, really strong about, and you're able to convey that to the admissions representatives to say, you know, this is what I really want to do. This is something that I've done, and I've done it for over a period of time. Not just you just started doing it your senior year. Maybe you've done it, whatever this passion is. You're veterinarian. You want to be a veterinarian, and you've been going to pet shelters and volunteering at pet shelters, and how it makes you feel and how often you've done it. Some of the things that you've done while you've been doing this volunteer work. So those are the kind of things that they're looking for, and you're going to have to really write your heart with this essay.
So there are experts to really help the parents and students through that essay process.
Yes, and College Depot has a workshop as well where they can work with the parents and work with the students on how to format and how to pull it all together. So they have a wonderful program. My daughter has participated in the essay writing workshop with College Depot as well.
Wonderful. Now, I know that you talked a little bit about the Common App. So for those parents and students who are not familiar with the Common App, can you talk a little bit more about what that is?
So the Common App is just like a one-stop shop where you can go and apply to multiple colleges. They don't have all colleges and universities on there, but they do have a large quantity of universities on there, and you can go and apply, do one application, and just pick the ones that you want in this particular Common App, and your information, all the stuff that you have written and submitted will go there. And you don't have to do it for 10 different colleges or 5 different colleges. So you just do it one time and boom, it's there. The same thing with the Common Black College app. I think they have about 65 colleges and universities, HBCUs. You do your application, you submit it, pay a fee of, I think it's $35. And just like that, it goes to 65 different HBCUs across the United States.
Okay, so we have a question in the chat. How can students find the right college and career path? It's so difficult to determine jobs of the future. So how do they go about making that determination?
So today is your lucky. I am a CTE1 teacher at Betty Fairfax High School in the Phoenix Union High School District. And one of the things that we do as teachers is we give the students an assessment. And it's a skills assessment. You're going to talk about what you like and what you dislike, and things that you feel comfortable doing, and what your strengths are, and what your learning style is. And so we gather all of that data and get all of that information, and it compiles it, and it tells you what type of career would be a good fit for you or a good match for you based on the survey, the questions that you have submitted. There is one that you can do online, and I'll have to get you guys the link for that, and it's free. And I can make sure that parents and students get that, and you can just do the assessment and kind of get a feel for where your strengths are and what might be a good fit for you to major in or career-wise. So I'll make sure you get that link as well.
Great, thank you so much. Can you explain what CTE is?
Oh, it is Career and Technology Education. So, just for my particular class, all I do is focus on college and career. So I make sure that the students are familiar with some of the cutting edge technology or how to research. I make sure that they do a research project on the career that after they find out what has been selected for them as far as what career is the best fit for them, Then they're going to do some research in that industry to find out what kind of job they really might be interested in. And then I do a college project with them where they look at whatever college that might offer this particular major that will get you to that career. So we do 2 big projects and just make sure that they have that going in. Now I know that you could change your mind and say, "Oh, I don't think I want to be an engineer anymore. I want to be, a janitor." But you can change your mind, but at least we have an instrument or a tool that will help assist you and your parent in learning, what the best fit is for you.
Sandra, I know that you have taken students on college tours.
Yes.
And I wanted to just get your take on how important it is for students to go on college tours before making that decision.
Well, I think it's super important because for me, one of the main reasons why I started doing it in our school district is because a lot of our students have never been out of the state of Arizona. A lot of our students have not been on a plane before, let alone on a college campus. And I felt that it was important for our Black and Brown students to go to a campus and see people who look like them, talk to professors, be in that whole environment and have an idea of what they're going to be walking into, when they get on the campus. Most of the college campuses that we have toured are small and they're like a home away from home, and everybody has been so friendly and so warm and inviting to the students and just show them a different perspective, a different point of view. So that has been important to me. And I had that opportunity when I was in high school. I had an opportunity to tour Jackson State, Mississippi Valley State, Alcorn, and I eventually ended up picking Mississippi Valley State. So that's where I chose to matriculate. But it's important to go and see, well, can you see yourself on this campus? Do you think you'll fit in with this caliber of students that you're seeing now? Can you imagine all these buildings and all this walking that you're going to have to do? So just to give them a flavor for what's.
I agree. I did the same thing before I went to college, and I think that is very important to visit because you really don't know until you're out there seeing what's available.
Yeah.
So we've had a number of questions about all of these programs that you're talking about and all of these different resources. But there's a way to get those resources, not just by searching websites, but by participating in the #CAP program, correct?
Yes.
And how does someone become acquainted with #CAP?
So I think I saw where the link was posted in the chat. I hope I saw it. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but we will post the link where you can apply. You can sign up. It's an application. And you just come and get all of this free advice and this free information and all of these tools, and we're going to prepare you. We want to work with the parents. We want to work with the students because to me, it's not just, the students. We need to get the parents engaged. I want parents to learn this process too, because when I started off with my first child, I didn't know the process well. And then, start listening to other parents. I start seeing what kind of scholarship other students were applying for and paying attention to the process and the timelines. And when do you have to do this? When do you have to get your financial aid in? When do you have to get your letters of recommendation? So it's a process and there are different components and they are moving. So parents need to be aware so that they can help work with their students and, say, hey, this is due on this date. So we got to get going on those letters of recommendation. Got to get moving. So it's important that we have the parents involved. We'll make sure that the link so that they can go to our website and sign up.
Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Sandra Jenkins, for your wealth of information. And we really hope that everyone out here will consider joining #CAP and reaching out to you for additional information. We really appreciate you being with us today.
Bye, everyone, and thank you.
Okay, everyone. So that's our program for today, but we want to have all of our presenters come in. We have our committee members coming in, and we're going to hopefully answer any last-minute questions that our guests have today. And we're at the time of the raffle. So, as you heard at the very beginning, that we have some Southwest Airlines tickets to give away. And we also have some Amazon coupons to give away. So, just a couple reminders. Committee members are not eligible for prizes, okay? And for those who win, we will coordinate getting those prizes out to you. So what we're going to do, we have a wheel, correct? Are you ready to spin the wheel, Michael? All right.
All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Just getting myself all together here. So I want to say thank you to everybody for allowing me to do the fun part. Mr. Kelly, is there anything that you wanted to mention before we get started?
No, other than the fact, maybe you can describe what the wheel consists of and how it works. I think that'd be helpful.
Sure. So on the wheel is all the students that have registered for our event today. I'm sure that there are some staff and adults that are on here that probably shouldn't be, but they're all in the list. So if you're not supposed to win the prize, we'll go on the honor system that you'll mention that you're not supposed to win. If a student, I believe, has registered but is not present today, and they win, I think we're going to move on to somebody else who actually attended and is present today. I'll clarify that with everyone else, but yeah, we're just going to click on the wheel, and then whoever name comes up is going to be the winner of the prizes.
Thank you, Michael. Just one other reminder. We would like to provide for our sponsors, any kind of testimonial based upon your participation in this workshop. So we would love to have a small Zoom, TikTok, or Instagram that indicates, hey, thank you, Black, Brown, and College Bound, Symposium, Southwest Airlines. We appreciate your support. And that's it, Michael. You're
All
on.
right.
All right.
All right, absolutely. So it looks like for today, and someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but we have multiple prizes, multiple opportunities for people to win prizes. Do we have three $25?
I think it's four. We have four $25 gift certificates, and then we have 2 round trip tickets from Southwest Airlines to wherever Southwest Airlines flies. If you win and you're younger than 19 years old, your parent would have to accept that, parent or guardian. And our hope is that that you might use it to visit a college, but it doesn't have to be used for that.
All right, so I think we'll start off with the 4 gift cards. If everyone's ready, we'll pick our first winner of the first $25 gift card. Everyone cross your fingers, cross your toes, cross your eyes. And we have Cherie Hertz Winner, $25 to you. We will remove you from the wheel so that you don't win multiple prizes, but congratulations, Cherie. And now the second $25 gift card. And our winner is Sunday. Sunday. I hope you get to spend that $25 maybe on a Sunday. Congratulations to you. All right. And then we'll go for number 3. Who is going to be our third winner for today? And it's going to be Sandra Jenkins. Is that a staff or is that an actual student?
Let's respin there.
Okay. Sorry, Sandra.
Sandra, we would pay you if we could.
She's worth it.
She absolutely is. Yeah.
All right. Instead, it will be Haiti Garcia. Congratulations on the $25 gift card. And then our last $25 gift card will go to Maria Vaughn. Maria Vaughn, congratulations. Now the big prize, the one that we're all waiting for. The first winner of the round trip ticket to Anywhere Southwest flies. Who's gonna be the big winner?
And as you're spinning, these are full tickets. They are not buddy passes.
Not buddy passes, yeah, full tickets. Luis, congratulations. Start packing your bags. Start thinking about where you want to go. And all right, here's the last one. All right, everyone. I hope you win. Here we go. The last winner is going to be Madeline Brown Jones. Congratulations. You are fly. And so we are going to put you on a plane.
Well said.
All right, congratulations to all the winners. We will contact you to arrange how to get this to you after our workshop today.
That's so wonderful. I just love giving out prizes.
You bet. Congratulations, winners.
I'll stop sharing my screen now.
Okay, so we do have a couple questions in the chat. Michael, Mabry, someone wants to know about the College Depot, if the service is free to use. Do they need an appointment to come in? How do they connect with you?
Absolutely. So we do provide all free services. We even have a device lending program for college students that work with us that are needing those devices, like a laptop or a hotspot. It's in limited supply, so just make sure you reach out to us first before coming down so we can let you know whether it's available. But in order to schedule an appointment, we are appointment based. You want to give us a call. Our phone number is 602-261-8847. You can also go to our website on the Phoenix Public Library website, so phoenixpubliclibrary.org, and then you'll click where it says College Depot, and then from there you'll see an opportunity to click where you can make an appointment online if you're unable to call. We do appointments in person, but we also do it via phone call and video call. So there's lots of options for you if you're not close enough to the area or you don't want to fight traffic to get downtown.
Okay, thank you so much. The second one is someone did ask about the Barrett Honors College, and our representative is not with us this afternoon. So if whoever had the question, if you want to send me your information in a direct chat, I will have someone reach out to you directly to answer all of your questions. And I think that was all of the questions that we've received today. So I want to thank everyone for your participation. Thank you to the committee for all of your work that has been going on for this event to be successful. And especially a thank you to Dr. Eula Saxon-Dean, who has been our coordinator in the background. She has done a wonderful job, and we could not have done it without her time and commitment to making it a success. So thank you. And then finally, we do have a survey. And you can see on your screen, there is a post-event survey. If you can take out your cell phones and scan the QR code and take our survey, we really want to get your feedback on how our event went today and if there's anything better we could do for you in the future. We thank you all for participating. It was a delight to have all of you here with us today. Michael, Kelly, do you have any parting words that you'd like to add?
Just one comment on behalf of the committee. Angela, thank you very much for your adroit and excellent facilitation. And in the words of a song, I like the way you move to the music, you know, so maybe next time we can have the Emmy Award winning Freedom, you know, song from Louisiana as well. So thank you. And also Monica has been with us, you know, from the beginning. She has dynamic programs at the Mesa Community College, especially for the African American and Hispanic student population. And she's a wonderful asset. Thank you, Monica. And you already said thanks to Dr. Dean. Dr. Dean has been our rock, you know, as far as planning, keeping us grounded, keeping us moving forward. Dr. Dean, we love you and appreciate you.